Hey friends, and welcome back to the Basswood carving channel. Okay, we're ready to paint these guys. I did a little one just to see how it was going to turn out, and I really like the way it's looking. So let me show you how I achieved that. Let's paint all these first. So let me get these out of the way so I don't overspray on them. And basically I'm using my airbrush, and that way I'm getting a nice little washed in look. Get some more paint in there. The color I'm using is Transparent Bright Green by Createx, and this is an airbrush color, so it's a lot thinner than your folk art and your apple barrel paints, and it actually gives me a little bit of a washed out, and I can control a little more than I can with the brush. And this usually only works when you're doing, the same color, because of the overspray. It's kind of hard to do little details, or at least for me, because I'm not that talented with the airbrush yet as some people are. But I like the way it's looking on these trees, though. Really, it's turning out pretty cool. It gives it just a little bit of a light wash, and I got to go back in and spray up in those knife cuts a little bit. Get the top a little bit more, and I'll let that dry and come back and hit the bottom a little bit. On this one I put linseed oil on first. Just to see what the difference was. And I think the linseed oil created a nice little barrier that it didn't absorb the paint as much right away. And I definitely didn't want to paint all these by hand. So I thought, let me try the airbrush and see how that does. And I did the first one, and I like the way it turned out. Get a little more paint. It still lets that wood grain show through, which is what I was after. And it dries pretty quick. All right, two more. Yeah, I'm really liking the way that's looking. Oh, shoot. Okay, last one. Let me put a little more paint. Okay, I'm going to let those dry for a minute, folks, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, so I'm back, and they're all dry, and we're going to put a little snow on them. If you can see that one in the middle there. It's kind of a little test I did. Now, just a suggestion, find something if you can. Put a little piece of double-sided tape or take a piece of tape and fold it over, masking tape or something, and stick them down to something so you can move them around, because that paint on there is going to be wet. You don't want to touch it, and if they fall over, you got to pick them up and you got paint on your hands, you're going to put a little spot on there. So just a suggestion from experience. All right, so let me move these out of the way, and what we're going to do is put this out here so you can see what I'm doing. I got an old toothbrush, and I got a little tray, and I got some white in there, Snow White, apple barrel Snow White. That's what I'm using. Okay, and you're just going to dip that. Try to get this on camera too so you can see it, but I don't want to get paint all over the tray, so I'll be touching it. But take your brush, dip it down in there, just the tip, and get you some paint on there. Not real heavy, but you want some paint on there, depending on the degree of snow that you want on your tree. Then take your toothbrush, and all you're going to do is flick it. And you can play around with it, adjust how much snow you want to get on it. If you want a lot, you can do it pretty heavy, but you got to watch, like right there where it was really heavy on the tip of the brush. So probably should have flicked it a little bit first before I hit it, but hey, you learn. This is the first time I've ever actually done this on wood. I do this for speckles on my baits, so that's how I knew it would work, but I didn't know what it was going to look like on the tree. So flick it, rotate it, try not to touch it. As you can see, that paint flicks all over. It's already on the other one a little bit, so. Further away you hold it, the smaller little specks you can get. I like it. Okay, a little bit on this side over here. Okay, that one's done. Let's go to this one. Definitely get where you're not going to make a mess on something that you want, because it does splatter all over the place. This is my painting table anyway, so there's usually paint splatter all over anyway. And just vary it, whatever you want to put on it. If you want a lot, put a lot more on it. If you want just speckled like I did, just do that. Alright, I'm going to call those two done. I'm going to move these over to the side. Try not to get any more on them. Bring the big ones out. I like that effect it's leaving. It's pretty cool. Just vary it a little bit. It looks pretty good. Alright, I'm going to let these dry for a minute, and then I'm going to do one last little technique on them. I'll show you. Let me get just a little bit more on this side right here. Kind of forgot this side. Alright, I'm going to let these dry, and then I'll bring you right back. Okay, let's finish this up. I did a little bit of this off camera because I needed to have it up close to me so I could see. But I'm going to show you what I did, and I'm probably not going to do the whole tree in front of you, the camera, because I can do it better when I'm holding it up under me. But I'm going to show you the technique I used. The first thing you do is I got me a flat tray on the top here. Let me move this out back a little bit so you can see. I got me a flat tray right here on the top, and I used that. And I got this burnisher tool. You can get them at the dollar store, like Dollar Tree, I think is where I got this one. And they're just burnisher tools, they call them. I mean, you can find them at pretty much any hobby store. But I found these at the Dollar General for like $1. So I got a couple of them. But you guys have probably seen this before. If not, you know, it's a good tool for doing eyes, but it's a good tool for doing dots and things too. So I got the fat end on one, and I got the smaller end on the other. And I think they sell these in different sizes. I mean, our Dollar Tree only had this one, which was fine. It was perfect for what I wanted. But I used the fat end on it, and I got the white on the flat part because I want to be able to touch that down and get a certain amount on there every time. So that helped out by having it flat. So what I did was I went around, because your colors are probably not going to show up on this green, on a darker green as well. So I went back and I went and went all the way around and put little white dots all the way around where my lights are going to go. And that helped me plan it out. And it helped me figure out how many rows I was going to have, how many lights was actually going to be on it. So go ahead and take the white and drop it down in there. And all you're going to do is just touch it like that and put a spot on there. Okay, and that's what I did. I went all the way around this thing and put the spots on there, because you're going to need time for it to dry, which is, I let it dry for probably about an hour and a half before I start this back up. All right, so I got all my lights white on there. Okay, white dots, because that way when I put the color on there, it'll make the colors a little more brighter for the Christmas tree lights. And I'm probably not going to do all my trees like this, because I liked the way these turned out with the snow on them. They look really cool. But I thought I'd have one colored lighted up tree with Christmas lights in the middle of the forest. So I have that on there, and then we'll have actually these little trees sitting on here somewhere. But like so, and we'll have one with lights on it, or at least my wife will. She's the one that's taking all these, her forest, as she says. I want a forest. I said, all right. So I'm probably not going to do all of them with Christmas lights on them, but if it's your choice, you can do what you want. You might not even want to put the snow on there, just paint them green. But I think the snow really made it pop out and kind of helps show the angles and everything of your cuts. And the transparent paint definitely makes a difference. All right, so yeah, we're not going to probably do these, but let me show you what I did on this one. Okay, so I got all my spots on there, my white spots, using this burnisher tool. All right, and I used that burnisher tool to paint the colors on too. So the colors that I used on mine, and you can pick out whatever colors you have, whatever colors you want on there. I used the Folk Art Lipstick Red. I used the Apple Barrel Primary Blue. I'm using a fluorescent paints for the others. I didn't have a fluorescent blue, and I didn't have a real bright fluorescent red, because I'm out of that color. So I went with the lipstick red, which is pretty bright red anyway, and the primary blue. But all the rest of the colors I used were fluorescent. So this is a fluorescent yellow, this is a fluorescent green, a neon orange, and a neon yellow. And I put all of them in order in my tray, in my little dipping tray. All right. So I started off with red, then I went to blue, yellow, green, fluorescent orange, and neon yellow. So, depending on how you want to do it, I did a couple because I didn't want to mess up my order. I wanted to make sure that I got them all the same in the same order. So that's why I put them in the tray in the order that I wanted to put them on. Now, the other thing is, have you a wet rag? Okay. Have you a wet rag so you can keep dipping you can wipe off the tip, because it's going to dry on you on this thing pretty quick. So plus changing colors, you don't want to contaminate your color with the other colors. So you can go around and figure out where all your yellows go, where all your reds go, blues, whatever, if you want to do it that way. I did a couple at a time, so I counted how many spots I needed, and then I would just go on and do the color. So I'm going to start off with the red, and that's where I left off. So I went and just touched the red little white spot with the red, just like so. Then I counted, because I have 5 more colors, so I counted 6 bases, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I put my next one in. And you'll want to dip it about every time, or maybe get 2 spots out of it and then dip it, because otherwise you won't be carrying any paint. Then I went back to my blue, and I got my blue, and I went with my blue, Then I went up here with the blue. I have to dip it again. And then I went with the yellow. So I do that, and then I'll just start a whole new 5 more, 6 more, whatever. Okay, so then I went yellow. I mean, if you want yours just random, do them random. You know, that's totally up to you. I wanted to give you guys a way to do it uniformly if you wanted to keep it in uniform. So now we did yellow, 2 yellows. We go to the green. We touch the neon green. Come back up here. Neon green. Then to the next color is the orange. Neon orange. And then last was the yellow. The neon yellow. My neon yellow is really thin. Neon yellow. I just think the neon colors make it kind of pop out a little bit. Okay, so you can do that all the way around your tree and put lights on it. And you guys was probably seen already in the thumbnail before you click the video what it looks like finished. Once I get it all done, I'll film a little video, 10 seconds or so of it with them all together. And yeah, so we'll show you the rest and we'll sign out this video. So let me finish this up and we'll be right back. Okay, friends, here we are all finished up. Got all the spots painted on the lights painted on the tree. Turned out pretty good. I'm really happy with the way it turned out. Obviously, it's hard to get every little spot exactly the same size, but you know, I think that adds character to it if it's not all the same. And I did keep pretty consistent with the colors all the way around. Turned out really good. I think the wife will be happy with it when she gets her hands on it. But yeah, it's been a fun project, really. I enjoyed carving it. I carved that other big one last night and whipped it out pretty quick. So once you get going on it, you know you'll be able to bust them out pretty quick if you got to do a forest for one of your family members. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, please hit subscribe. Ring that notification bell so you get notified when we put up the next video. I got some Christmas ornaments coming up, and I'm going to keep on pumping out the videos for you. So I hope you guys appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video.